You can check out his YouTube channel, which is linked in the description. Paul Fiore joins us now. Jets Talk Now is the name of the channel. Paul, welcome back to the show. Happy Father's Day.
Thanks, Jake. Appreciate it. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there.
State of the Jets, Paul. I know you and I have been in Nick mode. I'm rocking my Nick shirt and hat right now, but we got a football season that eventually will be upon us. How do you feel as a diehard Jet fan about the state of the Jets following minicamp?
Oh man, it was the Jets. You know, it was a positive mini camp that kind of was a continuation of, I think the free agency period and the draft. I mean, like the Jets have been operating in a way, at least to this point, and it's off season. We always win the off season, but you have to be semi-optimistic right now. I think that they're, at least from a blueprint of what they're trying to do, there looks like there's an actual plan to build this team over, the next couple of years.
I agree. And it's so tough to go from like the Knicks talk and like all the excitement with that to then like, all right, can Jamie and Sherwood have a bounce back season? Like it's just hard right now. But the football is my number one. It's my favorite sport. And I'm just hoping the Jets can at least give us a season that's not over after a couple games where we just know they're going nowhere. Like, can you be fake good for part of the year just to give us something to get excited about?
Yeah, I mean, and if you look at their schedule for the first 8 games, and I think we talked about this before, look, they have a reasonable, the beginning, I think they have a reasonable shot at being, 4-4, 3-5, if Geno is 75-80% of what he was in Seattle and not closer to the version of what he was with the Raiders. I think that's going to be a big part of this. I mean, they have talent offensively to, if he can get them the ball and not have crazy turnovers like he did last year. And I guess if you look at his last 2 years with Seattle for the last year and, obviously with the Raiders this past year, I think 3-5, 4-4 is a fair thing that we should be expecting as a fan base. No one should be, look, we're not sitting here going, they should be 5-3 or 6-2, right? It's like, we're all trying to be realistic. I mean, for the most part, I think people are being pretty genuinely fair right now about what the expectation should be for this team going into 2026.
I think it's well said.
All right, Asmaniacs, listen up for a second. No matter what you're watching, whether it's New York sports or any game you didn't plan on caring about, there's no better way to stay locked in than with PrizePicks. It's daily fantasy made simple. You're just picking more or less on player projections. That's it. No complicated lineups, no nonsense. Just you versus the numbers. And here's why I love it. Even if it's a game you normally wouldn't care about, once you got a lineup going, you're locked in. Every play matters, every drive matters, every at-bat matters. I've been mixing sports too. Maybe a little football, throwing some baseball, maybe some basketball, and now you've got action across the board all night, and PrizePicks makes it even better with features like early cash outs if your picks are hitting, the ability to mix multiple sports in one lineup, and you can even see what other people are playing and tail their picks. So if you haven't tried it yet, what are you doing? Download the PrizePicks app right now. Use code HMA. That's HMA, and you'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, it's HMA on PrizePicks. PrizePicks, where it always feels good to be right.
Paul, I want to play you some sound from Frank Reich the other day because I don't know if Frank Reich is still going to be an elite offensive coordinator, but I do know this. He's confident up there at the podium. He's a professional adult in the room figure for the Jet offense. And this was Reich being asked on his assessment on Geno Smith so far through minicamp.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard for me right now to not be overly, what's the right word, effusive with praise. You know what I mean? But I am just so impressed by Geno. I cannot express that enough. I know we haven't played any games yet. We got a long way to go. We got a lot to prove. And everybody's got a lot to prove. But, man, he is on point. His preparation is top-notch. His football mind is elite. I mean, the way he's communicating in the huddle at the line of scrimmage, The way he communicates in the quarterback room, I've been around a lot of really smart and good quarterbacks. I mean, he is. All I'm going to say is we're in good shape. We're in good shape. We got a lot to prove. He's got a lot to prove. I do. We all do. We understand that. We understand what world we live in. But it's been good so far.
Did you know him at all before this?
Not at all. Not at all. I think one time I met him just like in a brief passing. But no, he's an impressive, I don't want to say young man. I mean, relatively, yes, but not so young in this league. But he's an impressive person. I always say that it factor is the combination of a lot of confidence, but also genuine humility, and he's got both of those. So the things that he's been through in life and in football, I think have put him at a position to put his best foot forward in this next stage of his career.
I mean, Paul, that is effusive praise right there from a guy who's been around some really good quarterbacks. Are you buying into the Frank Reich Geno experience here? What can we expect from those guys working together in 2026?
I mean, I think two things can be true, right? Like what's going on right now in the preseason and mini camp and how he is in the room can be elite. He can be preparing amazing and he's got a great football mind and all of those things. And it's mini camp, so, you know, you don't really see true football right now. So all those things could be true, which is why he played so well in Seattle, right? I mean, he had a career revival when he was with Seattle. But what also could be true, and we don't know until we actually see real football. I don't think he's going to play much in the preseason. But he's a guy that's going to be almost 37. He's going to be, 37 years old. He's coming off of a bad season. And his last season in Seattle, they showed there was some degradation in his play. That what happens when he's got pressure and what happens with his decision making, and has there been a drop off? So he could be an elite. Look, everyone's like Aaron Rodgers, still an elite mind, right? Like he still can process and he still sees what he sees, but his reaction time is slower. His willingness to take hits is less. He throws the ball downfield less, right? So like you can see all of those things were still true about Rodgers, but he was a different quarterback. So I just don't know what kind of Geno we're going to get. And so if we're banking on Geno going back in time and having the seasons he had in Seattle when he was at his best, I think we'd be looking at it from a false sense of security. If we're hoping he's better than he was with the Raiders, and maybe like I said, 75% of what he was in Seattle, I think that they can be I think that's what they're hoping for. Like, if I'm being honest, I don't think anyone's delusional within the organization thinking they're getting Geno who's going to suddenly make them a 10-win football team. I think they're hoping that Geno gives them a third year so they can get their quarterback and he's the bridge. And that would mean they need to probably win 7 games. And I think that's what we're hoping for. That's my guess.
By the way, Geno Smith, 35 right now, turns 36 in October. You're aging him out of the league, Paul, saying he's 37 years old.
Sorry. He's kind of a, he had a really rough year last year. Now, it's not only his fault. They were terrible. But he had a rough year last year. And I think he had 2 really, really good years in Seattle. But in the entirety of his career, he's had 2 really, really good years. So I didn't want Geno. He's impressed me with how he's been at the podium. Obviously, Frank Reich's had a lot of great things to say. I like that. I'm not sold that all of a sudden I'm getting Geno Smith, 4,000 yards, 30 plus touchdowns, Geno Smith. I'm not there.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Father's Day on the Jake Asman Show. No better place to be, they say. End of the show. Raffle for 5 items, including a Garrett Wilson signed helmet and a Klecko signed helmet. Appreciate everyone who's tuned in as Paul and I talk all things New York Jets. Let me shout out Mike Doramo, who was the first to put forth a 5 spot today. He is in the Asmaniac raffle for 5. Let's go.
Ouch. Hey, hit my teeth. Oh, well.
Jersey Jet is in the Asmaniac raffle. He sent in a gifted membership, means he is in the raffle for one. Excellent job, Jersey
Good
Jet.
job.
Super chat from Colin, who says Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Colin in our raffle at the end of the show for 4. Cashmere Black with a super chat. Jets have the talent. It all comes down to the coaching and the quarterback play. And of course, injuries that's going to determine our fate this season. I still think we need linebacker depth. I was out to dinner last night with some friends of mine who are Jet fans, and we were going through the roster, and we're like, this is not that bad of a roster. Like, there's players here. Offensive line is intact. Number 1 receiver, number 1 running back, some nice complementary weapons to play next to Garrett Wilson. The defense added the number 2 pick in the draft, Minka, Demario Davis. There's good players on this team. I agree with the super chat. I think it comes down to Glenn and Geno. That's it. Like I don't want to, make it as basic as that because football is very complex, as we know. But a lot of times it's also not. It's coach and quarterback, and I think Geno is capable of being competent. It just goes back to my thoughts on Aaron Glenn. I have major reservations about the guy as a head coach.
Yeah, I mean, look, it could be a genius move to bring Frank Reich in. It could turn out to be that way, right? Like Reich essentially running the offense and AG not having to worry at all about anything going on that side of the football allows him to just focus on the defense and essentially if Reich is, still got it and Geno is, like I said, 75% he was in Seattle. Yes, they have enough talent offensively to be at least competent. And if you're at least competent, I really think, it's just my opinion, I think Woody really wants Glenn to succeed. So I think his rope is going to be more than most of us probably think it should be, just because I mean, AG was Woody's guy. Like Woody made the pick, right? So it's like I think he's just got this mindset that he's gonna do everything he can to try to get AG through year 2 into year 3. So if Frank Reich is good, then they will find a way to minimize Geno's mistakes, give them a competent offense, and again, I think they could win. I think they could win 7 games. I think their ceiling is 7. I don't see it beyond that, but that's just my, I think they're a 7 ceiling win team. If Geno's terrible, then I think, they could be a 4 or 5 win team.
Wouldn't they be better being either good or terrible? Like, you hate to say it, but like if you're going to be just like 6 or 7 wins, like does that do anything for the long-term future of the Jets in your opinion?
Oh, well, look, to think a 3-win team is going to suddenly become an 8 or 9 win team when you're coming as far back from where they were, I think it's hard to just kind of think will happen. So I'm more on the line of give me 7 wins, show me competency, be entertaining, and I'm going to root like hell for Indy to be awful, right? Like that's kind of where my brain is right now.
I like the thought process. I wonder if the Jets could actually get some favorable luck where they're having this fun season and we get the best of both worlds with the Colts stinking. Do you think the Colts are going to be bad? Like, what are your expectations for them?
I think the Colts are going to be really bad. I think their schedule is tough. I don't see where the Colts are a good football team. Like Daniel Jones is coming off of a really bad injury, and really he played an elite level football 9-game, 10-game stretch last year. What is it? 9 games, I think he was last year before he went down.
That sounds right.
Before that, he was a scrap heap quarterback. And now all of a sudden we're going to expect he comes off of a devastating injury and he's going to be elite again. The Colts are in a tough division. They've got a really tough schedule. And I don't think they improved dramatically. And who's their backup quarterback? I mean, I think the Colts are going to be bad this year.
Imagine they stink, top 5 pick, and the Jets, let's say they are bad as well, and you have 2 picks in the top 5. You get your quarterback with 1 and another stud in this historic draft with the other, what that would do for the team.
Yeah, I mean, I know we were going to talk about, or you can go get Sorsby in the supplemental draft. I don't think they're going to do it, but you could.
Let's get into Sorsby now. You're one of the few I see on social media fighting the good fight. You're interested in Sorsby. Your thoughts on why you think the Jets should potentially submit a bid in the supplemental draft for the Texas Tech QB?
So I think it's interesting because there's a lot there, and I'm not like just saying without a doubt they should do it. My perspective on it is you have to trust your process and your evaluation of the talent. And so we know, I think somebody on your show, I forgot who said that they already did some work on Sorsby previous to this all thing blowing up when they were there with during Texas Tech's Pro Day.
Yep.
If you look at Sorsby, he's 6'3", 6'3.5". He's got good athleticism. He could improve a bit on his accuracy, but to me, I comp him to like a Jackson Dart type QB with that type of athleticism and a better arm, right? Now, yeah, he was gambling and all that stuff, and so you got to take that all in. That's why he's even going to be available. But I've seen some things on him that I think are unfair. People are like, well, if he was a first-round talent or QB, why didn't he come out this year? Well, he got paid $5+ million to go to Texas Tech. Dante Moore didn't come out this year. He stayed in. He was guaranteed to be the second quarterback taken. There's a lot of reasons why these guys stay in these days than coming out. So I don't view that as a, well, he's not a first round talent because he didn't come out last year. I think he has first round traits. I think he's got a lot of good overall football ability. I like I said, I liken him to like of a Dart type talent. The gambling thing, I think what I saw was his freshman year at Indiana, he bet on his own team to win. But I think that's the only thing we know about when it comes to football. I haven't heard that he was betting on his team while he was playing last year. And again, I get that this is a slippery slope. I just feel like you got to do your background. If you feel like he's rehabilitated himself, there's guys in this league that have done 1,000 times worse stuff. The Jets have brought guys in the past who've done worse. And if you can get him for a third round pick, I think if he checks out, I would do it. The Jets' history on third round pick, I posted this last week. Look back the last decade on the Jets' third round picks. Like, and you tell me he's not worth a swing in the third round? Like, who have we drafted in the third round in the last 10 years that has had an impact on this football team? I mean,
definitely not Malachi Corley or Ja'Kai Polite.
Ja'Kai Polite. I mean, Jabari Zuniga. I mean, like, I went through it. Maybe AZ Thomas becomes good. Jeremy Ruckert's a tight end 3. Ashton Davis, Nate Shepard, or Darius Stewart. I mean, like, this is the list.
This is why the Jets suck, by the way. That list right there.
Yeah, so like when you say, well, I wouldn't do it, like, and there's some people that are just hell bent on it, and I'm like, why? Like, I'm not saying you should, but if you did your homework and you bring him into your building and you feel like, okay, this guy could potentially be the answer. Now, this caveat comes with you need the league to let you know before the supplemental draft, is this guy getting suspended for the year? Because if he is, that's a whole different conversation, right? But I think you need to have that clarity before the supplemental draft. So I know the pro day is the 10th. I think before the supplemental draft, the league's going to have to give you some guidance on what's going to happen with him.
It's just going to be fascinating to see if it's not the Jets, what team actually puts forward a bid and what he goes for. Because there's so much unknown with this situation. He's one gambling incident away from never playing football again because the NFL doesn't mess around. There's a zero tolerance policy. So, like, people are like, oh, did you just second round pick? Make sure you get him. Well, you can't just light a second round pick on fire. And I also want to know, all right, does the kid's personality fit New York? Can he handle it? The first interception he throws, people are going to be making jokes and all the memes about, oh, does he have money on the other team? It's different playing quarterback for the Jets than I think it is in other markets. And fair or unfair, the Jets need to consider that in their evaluation on whether or not he'd be worth it.
I think that's true. And the one thing that I was saying this the other day. I don't know if you've seen anything. I haven't seen him be interviewed since this whole thing like blew up. Right? Like I haven't heard him speak. I've only seen like statements come out. I would like to see the kid kind of address it like in front of the media and have a conference, because we haven't seen that. And so you're right, like the New York thing's a real issue. But again, I'm focused on the football talent and what the potential upside might be. And I wouldn't light a second round pick on fire. I like today I wouldn't. But I don't think it's going to be a second round pick. I think it'll be a third round pick, most likely. Now, if he's unbelievable and it's just a pro day, and we all know what that means. But I saw something on McAfee. I think all 32 teams are likely going to attend this kid's pro day. It's 5 minutes from my house where his pro day is going to be, which is pretty funny.
Well, hold on a second. Can we get you to attend the pro day, Paul, and you'll be our correspondent for the Jake Asman show, reporting on Sorsby?
There you go. If I didn't
pay
have to
you, we'll get you. We'll get you a byline on the show. You know, Brendan Sorsby correspondent Paul Fiore joins us. I mean, we'll do it up big.
It would be something, right? Yeah, I couldn't believe when I saw he was going to be at the South Lake Carroll for his pro day. I was like, really? I mean, our football program here in Texas and South Lake is kind of insane, but like I just thought that was interesting. You should see this high school football stadium here. It's unbelievable. Like it's crazy.
Is he from that area? Is that why he's doing it there?
I mean, I know, I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming there must be some connection there. There's got to be. I don't know if he's from here. We should probably look that up, but he didn't play high school here. I don't know.
Fascinating. Well, what I want to do is play a clip from my recent Jets Collective episode with Brandon Tierney and Rich Cimini, because they are on the total opposite ends of this Brendan Sorsby conversation. For those who haven't seen it yet, here's a clip from our recent show. I'll play it, and then Paul and I will react. We'll read your comments on it on the other side. Plus, reminder, if you just joined us, happy Father's Day. End of the show. Raffle for 5 items today. Brunson Finals jersey, Gang Green Beach Club tickets, Darrelle Revis end zone pylon, Joe Klecko signed helmet, and a Garrett Wilson signed helmet, all up for grabs at the end of the show. Make sure you enter the raffle for your chance to win, and you'll qualify for next week's raffle as well. It's 2 for the price of 1. Little Father's Day special for all the dads out there. Again, here is the clip talking Sorsby from the Jets Collective. We'll play it and then get Paul's reaction on the other side.
I believe every team's going to be at his pro day. Not a single team is not going to go. It's going to be attended by every single team, number one. Number two, you need a quarterback. The way to get the quarterback is to stack the deck and position the odds as favorably as you possibly can. I know that I simplify this a little bit. I do. I don't know if he's going to be suspended. I don't know if he is suspended, for how long. I don't know if he's going to be a first-round pick or would have been if he stayed in college. But I know that he's in the conversation. And I also know, and this is what's really appealing to me, right? Let's say the Jets take a swing, and I believe that they will put a blind bid in. Put me on the record. And if they don't, I think it's irresponsible and a bad – I'm not saying a first-round pick. But if Mookie doesn't put a bid in, that's a missed opportunity. If the Jets get him – there's a lot of ifs here, but if the Jets get him and he winds up being the guy or potentially the guy, think about how that reshapes the 2027 draft, where instead of having to take 2 first-round picks to maybe move up to get the guy that you want, maybe you actually get the guy a year early. You get a lockdown corner, a linebacker who runs like the wind and hits like a train, and one more O-lineman. I mean, there are so many possibilities here. Now, I might be overstating it. He's not nearly as good as I think he is. I think he's good. I think he's got a lot of talent. I also believe it's a bunch of nonsense that the NFL cares about gambling. Please, the gambling is fueling the NFL. Let's not be convenient. It's such a double standard. He's 19 or 20 when he made this mistake. Did we really think that young, impressionable minds weren't going to get caught up in gambling when it's everywhere you look, every website, every stadium, every commercial? Give me a break. So let the kid figure it out. I'm going to trust that he's not beyond rehabilitation from a a character point of view. And if I'm the Jets, I'm going all in on Sorsby. I'm in.
So is that a second round pick? Because I
Yes.
think there's levels
Yes.
to it. Without knowing the person and how he could handle being the quarterback in New York and the first incompletion, people are going to be making jokes. Oh, did he bet on the other team? Like, how can he handle all that? Without knowing any of that, I just think it's a difficult conversation. I just want to know how much you want to actually put forth, because if you're the Jets and you were awful last year, if you get you put in a second, you probably get the player, I'd imagine.
I agree with that, and that's what I want. Like, listen, guys, if you're going to do this dance, right? So to me, they're like, I'm not going to half step this, right? I'm not going to say, well, he's good. Maybe he could be. He's a 4th round pick. You're not getting him for a 4th round pick. I don't think you get him for a 3rd round pick. Now, a 1st round pick is reckless. I would definitely not do that, obviously. But from a 2nd round perspective, if the Jets didn't have a left tackle or a right tackle or a wide receiver number 1 or potentially a tight end number 1, like, they've got enough there where you can justify taking the swing. There's not a complete dearth of talent. And you get it for a team that's always looking for a quarterback. This is a potential layup. It's screaming, take a swing. And to not do it, I will be stunned and utterly disappointed if they don't. I almost want to make a guarantee. I guarantee I'm going to, that the Jets are going to put a bid in. I have no doubt about that. And I guarantee it's at least a 3rd rounder and possibly, and I'm not a reporter, but this is common sense. They're going for it. If they
A name it
that's a different
guarantee.
story.
I wouldn't guarantee that,
Why? Why not?
because I don't think, I'm not so sure that's the case.
Well, I understand that. But, Rich, do they
You're
need a
saying
quarter?
you guarantee that they're going to put a 3rd round bid or higher on
Yes.
Sorsby, and I'm saying I personally would not make that guarantee, because I'm not sure they will.
Okay.
I just love that BT goes on this fiery rant, and then Rich is like, "Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that."
You know, it's funny. And I watched Jets Collective, and I think it was a few weeks earlier that BT was like, "No, they should not take Sorsby." So he's flipped a bit. I think he was claiming he was 6'1" or so previously, and now he's kind of like on the Sorsby train. So it's just BT, right? So like, he gets very convicted in how he feels in some stuff. He gets so like, I think I agree with you. There's levels to this. What I don't know is, look, we don't know when they meet with this kid, what's the level of humility? What's the level of realizing he really screwed this up and he's been rehabilitated? What is truly there? Like, we can sit here as fans and we can say, no, it's this, it's that. And, like, we were all negative on Klubnik. I mean, the vast majority of this fan base, including myself, I gave the Jets a D for the draft on Klubnik, not the whole draft, but when they drafted Klubnik, he has 2 press conferences and everyone's falling all over themselves over the kid. Right. And so, like, it just goes to show you how we as fans kind of react in the moment. And so, like, in the moment, there's this strong opinion one way or the other on Sorsby. Because we're not in those conversations, I don't have a strong opinion. My strong opinion is, if the Jets feel like they've checked him out and they're good with him and they like the talent, I personally like the talent I don't know what's inside the character of the player. I think the talent is worth a 3rd round swing. When I already went through for you, the previous history of the last 10 years of draft picks in the 3rd round for the Jets, I don't think that is detrimental to their ability to get a quarterback in 2027. So yes, gambling's an issue. Yes, all of these things that everybody's bringing up in the chat are fair. But I disagree when people say they don't think he's that talented. From a pure talent standpoint, I actually really like his talent. I was pounding the table for Dart. Like, I wanted Dart badly when he was available. I think this kid is sort of very similar with a better arm. And his athleticism is really good. If you get lucky enough to get him in the 3rd round, and because he checks all the boxes, and you can figure out whether he can be the guy, then yeah, your draft picks in 2027, it could be transformative for the franchise. It's a risk, And I wouldn't do it if he's getting suspended for the year, but I actually don't think he's going to get suspended for the year. I think it might be 2 games. My guess is they're going to do something similar to what they were going to do in the NCAA. It'll be a 2-game suspension.
I think the big question I have is, one, do the Jets actually like him? Right? It's one thing to be like, yeah, we like him, but do you love him? My other question is, can he handle the scrutiny of playing in New York? And then from like a specific Darren Muji, Aaron Glenn lens, they don't need to take this swing now. Darren Muji has positioned the organization to be set up for 2027. Like Woody's not like, we need a quarterback, I need you to do it now. There's no ownership pressure, I don't think, to make a wild swing at that position. They sold Woody on a plan that he bought on 2027 being the year they take the swing on the quarterback. They have built up the roster, signing Tippmann, Breeze, the draft, everything they've done to put themselves in position where that quarterback in 27 is stepping into a spot where he actually has the infrastructure around him to succeed. They don't need to do this. So the only way you do this is if you love the guy. And do the Jets really love him? I don't know. I mean, I think they might like him. I know they've started doing their due diligence on him, as they should, when you have 3 first-round picks, and this is, a regime-defining decision. I just don't think they're going to do it. I think if they place a bid on him, maybe it's a 4th or a 5th-round pick, and they're like, if no one else does it, we'll get him. Great. If not, no harm, no foul.
Different conversation whether they would do it versus right. I agree with you. I don't think they're going to do it. Right. And I'm not saying I would do it. I'm saying I think his talent, and I saw Nick on here. Nick and I, we go back and forth a little bit. Nick doesn't think he checks the boxes from a physical skill ability. He's got work that he needs to do. His accuracy is not there fully at this point. But again, what quarterback comes out fully polished out of college? There's a reason why he was coming back for another year. My personal opinion on this is, again, I think he has the physical skill set to develop into a very good quarterback. My obvious concerns are the character issues. But I don't think it's a big swing on a 3rd-round draft pick. I just personally, I don't view that. Like, I agree with you. They've set themselves up for 2027, getting the QB then. But again, I have a hard time, man. Like, this league has guys that have done work. Like, I get it. It's gambling and all of that stuff. I fully understand the enormity of all of that. There are guys that have been arrested and committed crimes in this league that have gone on and continued to play in their careers. So I'm not going to the morality box check for me is a challenge in this. If they meet with this kid and feel like he is rehabilitated and they are willing to take the chance on him as a 3rd-round pick, I'm going to support that selection because I think the talent is there. That's my opinion.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.